Hi, everyone. Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the Curmido for inviting me to moderate this session. What a treat. This is right in my wheelhouse. I'm Danielle Boyce. I am a researcher. I am a data scientist. Well, they didn't used to call us data scientists back when I started 30 years ago. I like to say we were just nerds back then. But I'm a data analyst and engineer and faculty member at Johns Hopkins. But more importantly, I'm the mom of a child with a rare form of epilepsy, not Leigh syndrome, but he had infantile spasms, which sometimes happens to people with this condition. And now he has Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. So Charlie has many of the same comorbidities that we talk about here today. And I'm very honored to be a member of the Curmido Scientific and Medical Advisory Board. I am particularly impressed about their handling of data and data standards. And Sophia and I are very like-minded in that way because professionally, before we had children, this was an area of interest for us professionally. And so we've had many, many discussions. I'm incredibly impressed by how Curmido approaches everything they do, from social media, communications, marketing, graphics, but especially this area, data and accelerating research through data. So it is my great honor to introduce Sophia Zilber, who is a Curmido board member and the patient registry director. This presentation will give an overview of Leigh syndrome global patient registry and what has been accomplished so far and future directions. Sophia, off to you.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Can everybody hear me? I'm going to share my screen. So thank you for the introduction, and we are also so lucky to have Danielle on our team. Her expertise is incredible. Just to add to this quick introduction, so as Danielle said, I'm a board member and a patient registry director for Curmido. I have many years of experience working with clinical trial data. I still work as my day job in the pharmaceutical industry, and I work on statistical programming and analysis of data for clinical trials and preparing data for regulatory submission. I became a part of this community 5 years ago when I had a daughter, Miriam, who was born as a perfectly healthy baby initially, and very shortly after that became very, very sick, and within a few weeks died. I volunteer my time for this community in Miriam's memory, and I'm very, very honored to be a part of the Curmido. I would like to start this talk about the registry with our goals for this registry and really our vision and the reasons for starting the registry. So what were our goals? First, we wanted to have a registry that's international so that anyone, anywhere in the world could join the registry. That was one of our important goals. Second, we wanted to identify and learn about our population, again, everywhere in any country, anywhere in the world. A high priority for us was to have data that is accessible and available to researchers and to the industry, to those who want to access and work on this data. Another priority was to enable recruitment for clinical trials. As Dr. Klein and others have said before, recruitment for clinical trials in rare disease is very, very challenging. And registries can really play a huge role in finding these patients and being able to contact them. A very, very huge priority for us was sharing of the results. We really wanted to have a registry where we don't just ask patients to enroll with the hope that eventually something will come out of it, but we wanted to have a registry where we are always sharing the results. Our community is always engaged. The data is available, and we are always learning from this data. And another important thing on that, we wanted to make sure that we know exactly what's in the data, so that if we are approached by a company or a researcher, and we often are, and they are asking, do we have patients with a specific symptom, specific gene or mutation? And we can very quickly let them know basically within a few seconds. So that's very, very important to us, so that this registry is always working and always doing something for our community. And with all of this together, we want to build a worldwide community, a strong community of patients and researchers. Our registry has been started in a partnership with CORDS, Coordination of Rare Diseases at Stanford. Stanford Health is a very large healthcare system that was established a very long time ago in 1894. And CORDS registry has been around since 2010, so it's well established. It's around for more than 10 years. It's listed on clinicaltrials.gov. At this time, it's a disease agnostic registry platform. And at this time, it has data for more than 2,000 rare diseases. CORDS works with 91 partner groups. It has more than 15,000 participants from 87 countries and all 50 states in the US. This registry is completely funded by Stanford Health, so there's no cost either to us or to any patient groups or to researchers or industry who would like to get the data or contact patients. This registry is HIPAA protected because Stanford Health is subject to HIPAA as a healthcare organization, and it's also GDPR compliant. Our registry has two surveys. One of them is a general survey, and in the CORDS registry platform, the general survey is exactly the same for all rare diseases. It's using common data elements that are recommended by the NIH, and the fact that it's the same survey for all rare diseases makes it easy to harmonize data across diseases and see what's in common between them. Additionally, there is a disease-specific survey that's developed separately for each disease. This structure makes it possible to potentially add other MIDA conditions in the future. General survey always remains the same, and disease-specific survey can be developed for each individual disease, and potentially our Leigh syndrome survey could be used as a basis for that. This platform is linked to Orphanet, list of rare diseases, and any disease that's in Orphanet would be there. Joining this platform is based on disease. It's not based on a patient group. So even if a patient has a disease that's where there is no partnership with a patient group, they still can join. We have designed our survey with the input from our advisors, our registry advisors, scientific and medical advisors, and the industry. And this is some of the information we are collecting. We are collecting demographics, diagnosis and genetic mutation information, time to diagnosis, loss of milestones and the ages when the milestones were lost, disease management, what patients are using to manage their disease, first concerns that were noticed and a history of symptoms and concerns, infections, healthcare utilization, caregiver burden, and quality of life. This is a poster. Our first results on this registry have been shared last year in February at the Mitochondria Targeted Drug Development Summit. And this is the poster that we shared. It was based on just 3 months of data at that time. And I'll just highlight just a very few things from there. At that time, we had 134 enrolled participants, and we included 93 in this analysis. We found that the interesting thing, we found that the time to diagnosis was relatively short, actually, for the syndrome. It was under 6 months for 30% of patients. It was between 6 and 12 months also for 30%. And it was short overall. Only 6% had time to diagnosis greater than 5 years. We found for almost 95%, their diagnosis was determined by genetic testing. And of those, again, for 95%, around that, we knew their gene mutation. And overall data Quality was good. We didn't have a lot of missing data, and our results were consistent with what we know about Leigh syndrome. So that was very important for us to know based on our initial data. And as I said, we are very much focused on sharing results widely. So we've had other opportunities to share. We shared the same poster at UMDF Symposium in June. We also just shared again the same poster at Maitanese conference in France. We have another poster, and I'm going to say more about it on the next slide, that's actually being presented right now at the FUSE FDA Computational Science Symposium. And we're going to have another also different poster presented at NORD conference in October. That poster is called Building a Worldwide Community, Leigh Syndrome, a Global Patient Registry. And that poster will focus on more than the numbers. It will be focusing on our entire effort to build the community through the registry. We are also working on a paper, which is actually almost completed. And it will be submitted to Biomolecule Journal in October, and we already have an announcement of the paper online. So I want to share about some of our partnerships in regards to this registry. One is a partnership with Sumptuous Data Sciences. As some of you might know, in order to submit the data to the FDA, data has to be converted to a standard called CDISC standard. That's a requirement for all regulatory submissions to FDA or PMDA. And so we are collaborating with Sumptuous Data Sciences specifically with that goal. We wanted to learn if our data is compatible with CDISC or not, and to what extent. After that, we want to convert this data first to CDASH format and then to SDTM format, which is what FDA accepts. And after my talk, Rhonda from CDISC will speak, and she will give much more details on this data standards. We wanted to achieve data that's regulatory submission ready. And of course, we wanted to share all these learning with the entire MIDA community, because this is, as far as we know, this is the first attempt to take patient-reported data from a patient registry and convert to CDISC. So that's very interesting how it works out. And so our results, we actually found that more than 90% of our data maps to existing CDISC domain, which is really, really great. And we are working on this conversion. We have a press release. When we started the project, we had a press release that's on our website. And right now, we have a poster, and Parag, who is speaking in this panel after a couple of talks from me, he's going to share a lot more on this, and he's presenting the poster at the FUSE FDA Computational Science Symposium right now. And we're going to share the poster with the community in a few days as well. Our other partnership for the registry is a partnership with CPATH, Critical Path Institute. CPATH has a platform that's FDA funded and where multiple types of data could be integrated, such as patient-reported data, electronic health records data, clinical trials data. It could be all kinds of data. And this data could be combined, and we can learn more from this data. And so again, this is the press release that we had with CPATH. Our goal is to integrate our Leigh syndrome data into CPATH platform. Others in MIDA community are doing the same. MIDA Action also has a similar press release, and they're sharing their data that's collected in the mobile app with CPATH as well. And Alex from CPATH, he will also speak, and he will share more about how MIDA community can work with CPATH and how we can share our data. One thing I wanted to note regarding data sharing is if we want to combine data and combine data for the same patient from different registries or different data sources, one of the ways to do it is by using a global unique identifier, GUID. And but one important detail on that is that GUID has to be developed in exactly the same way in all these different data sources. Otherwise, we would not be able to combine it. And so we are working with courts to create GUI through NIH GUI generator. It's a very commonly GUI generator in a rare disease. It's used by many in rare disease, and there are very successful cases of using it. So I wanted to share that. So now, what's our current status of the registry? Our registry is exactly a year old. We actually started it last year during MIDA Awareness Week, so it's exactly a year this week. We have more than 200 patients enrolled from 32 countries. So that's really wonderful. We are so extremely grateful to all the patients that have enrolled. It's so important. Each enrolled patient really matters for this. We have a flyer that is available on our website. It can be downloaded. Patients could bring it to their medical provider. Doctors could print it out and share it with their patients. And we really appreciate all collaboration in sharing this. We have surveys created in Spanish and Portuguese. All translations are certified and IRB approved, and please reach out to us if you need that. And if there's demand for other languages, we could add additional languages too. We also have frequently asked questions on our website as well. Again, yeah, please continue to join. It is very important. We really want patients to know that we speak to researchers. We always show aggregated results. One feedback that we are getting is that it's very important and very interesting to do data analysis by gene. So we haven't done it so far because we need more patients to enroll. We have many genetic mutations in the registry, but in some cases it's a few patients per gene. So we really, when there's more patients, we will be able to do it, and it's very important. And yeah, I just really wanted to share a quote that I thought speaks to our efforts. It's by Eleanor Roosevelt: "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." So I feel that it really speaks to what we're doing. And finally, I would like to thank everyone. I want to thank Casey. Most importantly, she's truly the heart of this foundation and this effort. And I would like to thank all of the patients that are enrolling in the registry. I want to thank Cure MIDA partner families for helping us share and spread the word and spread awareness. I would also like to thank everyone who is working with us on the posters, on the paper. If you see any of our publications, you'll see there are many authors. Everyone who works with us volunteers their time to help, and we're so extremely grateful and for them giving us their time and their expertise. If anyone has any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me by email. You can also connect with me through LinkedIn, and please follow Cure MIDA through any social media. We post a lot of updates, and please follow us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sophia. That was terrific, and how impressive in just 1 year. It's amazing how much you guys have done in just a year.